All right. It's the February groundhog edition of Your Questions Answered. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
And I'm CQ Winterfield. I'm Joe, KD9CJ. Good evening.
Good evening, and thanks everybody for dropping in this evening and all of the team replay that catch us later on. It's
Yep.
always glad to have you join us this evening. And like I said, it's the groundhog episode. So today's February 1st, but tomorrow is Groundhog Day. So.
Yeah, probably the most accurate weather forecaster I've ever seen.
Pretty close.
Not that he's real good. I'm just saying all the other ones are real bad. As it's February 1st and it was 50 degrees in Wausau today.
Yep.
Holy
it was warm.
I had the
It's
windows down for a while.
It's spring out there. I have to, air the house out.
So. Air the truck out.
Air the truck out.
The work truck was a little gamey this morning.
Oh, no.
I think this weekend I gotta get the shop vac out and kind of go under the seats a little bit. Something's got to be under there that doesn't smell right. Yeah.
It's all that Quick Trip.
No. Come on now. I'm trying to cut back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got to pick up an apprentice on Monday, and I'm going to try to set a good example. I mean, I'm not, but I'm going to try.
Try all you can. We got people filing in here. Got a bunch of traffic in the chat already. So
yeah, we got quite a few questions.
Yeah, 45 there wants us to do a Smokey and the Bandit run to bring them some spotted cow. So
do you really think the Subaru is going to go all Bandit style?
Yeah, a little eastbound and down.
breaker 19.
Oh man.
So what's your handle going to be? We can't call you Smokey. Maybe we'll call you a squirrel with that rat tail behind your head.
A squirrel. There we go.
I don't know if I'm the snowman. Maybe I'll be the plowman.
The plowman.
Roll up in my pickup truck with a bunch of spotted cow in back.
There you go. Yeah, we got Scout and we got Don here from the Twin Cities. So hasn't watched the field day winter field day video yet. Well, you better check it out because it's a good one. So our buddy the Flatlanders got the Buffalo Trace ready.
Oh boy. Suburban. I know what, Michael, we just got to put a countdown on the website for the POTA.
Oh yeah.
427 days, 37 hours and 27 minutes or whatever,
I'll do that. I think I do have I have the ability to put on a timer. So
put a widget in there.
We'll put in a countdown widget. So
perfect.
And we'll be talking about the Wisconsin POTA campout probably right after the break. So in about a half hour, you'll want to stay tuned for that. Todd, greetings from Green Bay. So
there you go.
Yeah, and in fact, he just got my. In fact, he's just mentioned the camp out right there. So it's we'll talk about that.
We have exciting news.
Exciting news is right.
We have confirmed that Taylor Swift will be at the camp out. What's that? Oh, she'll be at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. Oh, okay.
Super Bowl.
Disregard that. Yeah.
Any tips for finding a frequency in busy conditions? I think you're talking about 20 meters last weekend, and
it was a little tight last weekend.
It was a little tight. Listen up.
You just gotta pounce on a breath of fresh air on 20 meters.
Yeah, listen up, listen down a little bit. Ideally, you want to be, space yourself 3 kilohertz from the other person. But in a pinch, I'll go 2. 1.5 is brutal. But
if you got some real good roofing filters on your radio, you can try 1.5.
But two, you can make two work, but three is the gold standard. A lot, what I do is if you've got the connectivity and you can look at the POTA spotting page, look and see where other people are, so you're not piling on top of another person. And sometimes that helps you sort of find those holes. And another thing too is if you see a frequency on that spotting page that's like 20 minutes old, that means the person most likely went QRT and didn't mark himself as such on the page. Grab that frequency because it's probably free.
Right. But like on a contest weekend, like last weekend, your best bet is probably to go to 17 meters. I bet you there was a lot of just casual POTA activity going on 17 last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't casual last weekend, I'll tell you that.
No. If you're part of the contest, 17's not going to work for you. But if you just want to activate a park, that's the place to be. So
that's what I would say. But on the other hand, you can rack up a quick 20 real quick. Just call CQ Winter Field Day and just log them.
Yep, exactly. Scott's testing the microphone here, so.
Boof. There we go.
Is this thing on?
1, 2, 3.
Scott, I haven't caught you in a few weeks, so we got to get back on our routine. So
there you go.
That's either I'm busy or he's busy. So seems like every Saturday, I'd get a QSO from him. Good evening from Ron. Glad you're here, and Scott and Mike says it's Fred Flintstone's birthday. Is that on Groundhog Day or is that today? So
Fred Flintstone's birthday. What is that guy, like 30,000?
At least.
Jeez. Last time I saw him, I fell off my dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, KC from the Fox Valley. Good to see you there. So Randall down in Texas said said we had a cozy cabin for Winter Field Day. That cabin is nice. So
it is. And this year we didn't have to deal with the hash from the inverter.
No.
So it's off grid, but there's solar panels there and an inverter, so we have a little AC 120 volts. But the last time we were out there a couple of years ago, we really had some bad hash from that inverter. So this year we ran with bandpass filters.
Yep.
We had a 20, a 40, and a 15.
15.
And we never had a problem.
No. And I didn't have when I was on 80, I didn't have an 80 meter bandpass filter, but last time we were out there, the hash on 80 meters was terrible. But this time, this time it wasn't. That wasn't an issue. So maybe it was antenna placement too. I don't know. So.
Well, and actually, your 80 meter end fed was right next to the panels.
Yeah, the panels.
Yeah. Well, and it was pretty close to the inverter too.
Yeah.
The feed point was probably about 10 feet. And usually end fed, a random wire end fed is going to let everything in because it's not resonant on anything, at least amateur wise. But maybe because that 80 was tuned for 80.
That could be.
Maybe that helped. I don't know.
We'd
have to go back out there and play with that a little bit.
Yeah. We'll have to do some experimenting. So, we got Mike and the other Mike. David, there's tons of people in here. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's blowing up tonight.
Yeah. Where can I find an antenna mount that mounts to the wall of the house that comes out past the soffit for a vertical antenna? Look at soffit mounts for television antennas. For like a TV antenna. They've got some that mount to the side of the house that'll extend like 9 inches. I think they've got a 12 or a 15-inch one too. But those should, they're not very heavy duty, but they'll support a like a 2 meter dual band vertical whip.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to know what size antenna he's talking about, because so on my dual band antenna, my 2 meter 440 antenna,
Mm-hmm.
I just use the arm from a not a human arm, but the mounting arm from a direct TV dish.
Yep, satellite dish, a J mount from a satellite
Yeah,
dish.
yeah, it's like I was driving down the road one day during like spring cleanup, and there was a whole bunch sitting on the road right out there. I'm like, well, finders keepers, and I
Yep.
threw it in the truck. And then the wife says, "What are you doing with that?" And I said, "Oh, come on, that's just a little one." 2 years later, I brought home, the 6 foot microwave dish. She was
Microwave
really
dish.
upset about that one. What are you going to do with that? I
Yeah.
don't know.
But satellite J mounts is a great solution. That's I've used that for antennas. They'll support a vertical whip, and you can get them. They should have enough standoff to get above your soffit there. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or mount it right on the fascia.
Mhm.
You can do it that way too.
Yep. So, all right. Yeah, we got it. Like I said, we've got a few questions rolling into the chat here. So if you've got ham radio related questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. We'll try to do as many as we can. And we've got a couple other things we're going to talk about this evening, but we'll answer your questions as we go here. KC uses heavy duty L brackets from Menards.
Yep.
And I think that's those those television antenna mounts. Usually, I think you can find similar stuff at Home Depot if you don't live in the Midwest. But look in the they're usually near the electrical department. So if you're looking for that stuff.
Yep. So you could do that. I was also thinking, so depending on what you're doing, like if you're going to run like a mass pipe, like a 2-inch mass pipe, you go into the electrical section and find like a mini connector, right? So mini is like a bracket that has one big hole in the middle of it that you can put like a leg bolt through, or like a
Okay.
2-hole strap too as well. So I was like, so we had the B&W up this weekend, and so now my mind's been like thinking, like, how could I get that up about 25 feet in the air? Like I could find some 2-inch rigid conduit as a mass pipe, put 3 feet in the ground, and then at the peak of the house, just to fix that with like a mini or a strap or something, and that
Okay.
would be reasonably secure. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have to guy it because it'd only be another 10 feet up above that probably.
There we
So
go.
that's a thought, but I'm sure someone's going to veto that.
Drilling into the house is
Well, it
always an
wouldn't be the
issue.
first time I've drilled into the soffit up there. But I'm pretty sure something appendage that long sticking up with a B&W is probably gonna get me in trouble.
Get you in trouble.
Oh yeah, but we'll see. You never know. She put a
There you
big flower planter right out in the front yard. I think another 20-foot post right next to it would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Nobody looks up, so you'll be fine with that.
Yeah,
So.
and you know what? That's not excluded under local zoning ordinance. It's not a tower.
There you go. There you go. Hey, the Lutheran church over by you is getting a cell tower. The one on
Really?
6th Street. Yeah.
Okay.
They used to have a cell tower. There used to be a cell site at that concrete plant that was behind the church, but since the plant changed ownership, they got to move the tower. So
Okay.
they're leasing space behind the church, and they're going to put up a cell site. And in order to disguise it, it's going to be shaped like a pine tree.
Okay. That's interesting. So the downfall for that location in Wausau is that it's in a hole, and it's like right
Yep.
at the river level.
Yep.
So even if it's 100, 150 feet, it's still not really going to get very high up over the ridge. So that's just going to be fill-in coverage inside the city of Wausau.
It's considered a fill-in site. So that's not one of their primary cell sites, but it's a fill-in for AT&T. So they still need the equipment there, but in order to minimize its impact, it's gonna be sort of, I guess what would you call it, camouflaged. So
The mossy oak cell site. They'll do anything in mossy oak for an extra $20.
Yeah. I should have pulled up the Plan Commission notes. I probably could have found some pictures of that. So
I mean, I've seen them disguised as flagpoles before, but I've never seen them disguised as a pine tree.
There's one over in Door County in Bailey's Harbor. It's disguised as a tree, and it's the ugliest tree you've ever seen. So it's
right, because it's not a tree.
Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So see if I could find a picture of it.
Door County cell site.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see. Bring it up here. Bring it up.
I'm bringing her up.
If you think your guys' antennas are ugly, take a look at this.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you click on the right picture there, Michael.
There we go. Neighbor complains about monopine monstrosity in Bailey's Harbor.
Oh my Lord.
See if they got a better picture of it. Oh, come on. We got to get a better picture. But
that is Hamsexy.
That is. Here's a better one.
It doesn't even blend in. It just sticks out like in the middle of nowhere.
No, yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely.
You just might as well just put a cell tower there. At least you know what it was. Oh, that's stupid. Yeah, that is absolutely stupid.
Let's see if we get another. Come on.
Oh yeah,
that's like the picture. There, there it is. Yeah.
Like you could have like at least fill out the top a little bit more.
Isn't it?
Wow.
It wasn't ugly.
Hey, could you see him commissioning it? Starting up, joy to the world. At Christmas, put lights up on it. Come on, that would be awesome.
They have them disguised as palm trees in Phoenix.
Oh Lord! Could you imagine if they got screwed up? They shipped a palm tree one up here, and what it would look like.
So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Wausau's new monopine coming soon.
Monopine. Can I get one for 40 meters?
Be a nice vertical, wouldn't it?
It would be. Look at that. That'd be like an 80-meter half wave right there, I bet.
Yeah. Run some wire up of that.
Yeah. Andrew the Charlie Brown tree. Wrap it up with a little blankets.
I don't think that's going to help it at all.
That's more like one of those aluminum trees.
Charlie Brown.
Interesting enough, so the aluminum Christmas tree actually came from Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Yes, it did. It's a home. Yeah, Wisconsin's a home of the the shiny aluminum Christmas tree, and maybe painted pink.
Woodpecker nightmare. Poor woodpecker got hit with 50 watts and no one got him.
Yeah. We probably should have saved that for Hamsexy, but
oh man, that in itself is pretty good.
Stick around at the 8 o'clock hour. We got another Hamsexy coming up, so it's you're not going to want to miss.
I've been told this picture is just phenomenal.
Phenomenal. All right. Let's see. Actually, I got a really good question. We got a few good questions here, but I'm gonna pick this one first because Mike grabbed. I just wrote, if you're looking for a new home in a suburban location, what would be the key considerations for ham radio aside from an HOA or proximity to power lines or radio towers? Thanks. I'm gonna say first. Look at your zoning code. If you are really thinking about ham radio in moving into a community, because there's going to be some level of zoning there, and I'm just going to give two examples. So our community, the city of Wausau, we rewrote our zoning code about 4 or 5 years ago, and as part of the code rewrite, some language, the consultants that were working on it started, slipped in a little bit of language that would have almost, severely limited amateur radio antennas. And fortunately, it was something that I caught, because as we were going through the drafts, I saw all this ham radio stuff, and I said, no, we can't do this, So I was able to get a more permissive code in that regards on the number of antennas and towers and masts and whatnot that you could have at your residence. But fast forward maybe a year or so from that, Dave, you remember, Dave Peters, he lives down in Cronenwetter.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to put up a tower, and he had to get a conditional use permit because of the zoning code, and he'd go before the plan commission and the whole 9 yards. And it took a bit of education and whatnot, because they not kind of keyed in on amateur radio, didn't really understand, why you need such and such, why you need a tower, why do you need, why isn't one antenna enough? Let's just say that. Why isn't one antenna enough?
Sounds like my wife. Why isn't one enough, Joe? Really? And
it took time. It took time to educate, not only the zoning and inspections, but also the plan commission. But he was, in the end, he got his conditional use permit, and he was able to get on the air. So all of these codes are online. You can do freestyle keyword searches for communications towers. Now, if you start searching through the code, there's going to be commercial uses and there's going to be residential uses for communication. So you got to kind of be able to pick through those. But that's something I would look, if you're moving into a new community, and that's something, and amateur radio is a concern, I would see what you're going to be up against in the line of zoning. So.
Right. So now I do know that there is a federal law that requires municipalities to provide some sort of leeway for amateur radio, meaning they can't ban it outright.
That's PRB1, a reasonable accommodation.
Reasonable accommodations, right? So unfortunately, HOAs aren't covered under that, because, God forbid, we have another non-governmental jurisdiction jurisdicting us.
That's a private contract. So
right, yeah. So you know how I feel about that. But so I would take a look at, first of all, take a look at your lot line. What shape is your lot? I have a really long and narrow lot, which plays really well for a big end fed, or like an inverted V or something like that. But I have a lot of trees, and I have power lines in weird locations. Not power lines that cause a lot of interference, but power lines that get in the way of antennas. Right?
Yeah.
So take a look at that stuff. The other thing is kind of see what your neighbors look like. If both your neighbors on each side have like perfectly manicured lawns, like they're out there and it's sod and everything is perfect, you're going to have problems, right? Right. Now, if your neighbor comes out and gets the mail in his boxer shorts and a robe, and he's kind of got like a couple day old stubble here, and when he takes the garbage out, there might be a clink or two in the garbage can. He might be an all right fella. He may not care so much.
He might
now,
not.
Stay away from the neighbor who's got the fridge out front, and there's lots of empty cold medicine containers around the backyard, right? Sometimes just the neighborhood. Grant, I'm being a little facetious there, but if you're going into a gated community, don't expect to be, able to put anything up.
Yeah. Well, if it's gated, there's probably restrictions and covenants. So you're going to have to work around those. Older communities, you're probably going to be, better. You're going to have a greater chance of putting stuff up. because there would be, maybe less likelihood of an HOA than or even covenants than a newer development. So yeah,
Right.
that's
Or
something.
just find something right outside of town.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, living in the country. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're both of us live within the city limits, residential neighborhoods, and I think we're fairly lucky in that we're not bound by any private contracts. So it's only the
Right.
zoning code we have to go up against.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a plus for us, but it's
But we got a tiny lot too.
yeah. We don't have a lot to work with. Michael has talked in the past about his fight with the city engineer about the tree in front.
Well, that's not the engineer; it's the arborist.
Oh, the arborist, yes. The arborist, hallowed be thy
Yeah.
chainsaw.
We've been good so far. So
Yep.
hopefully that helps. It's not living in the suburbs. I can't totally, give you all of my personal experience, but having dealt with plan commissions and zoning, it's that's my 2 cents worth.
Yep.
So. All right. Hey, we got somebody asking who's going to Hamcation. We got a show of hands. Who's going to Hamcation? I think that's not this coming weekend, but week after.
Yeah.
So yeah, that second weekend in February.
Our buddy Nathan's here.
Hey,
can we talk about Nathan?
Yeah, we gotta say, congratulations to Nathan's one of our newest extra class operators.
So we got to talk about Nathan for a minute. So Nathan's what, 17?
17,
and he's got a brother.
Yes,
a twin brother, right?
Derek.
Yeah. So the Prince boys walk into a test session a couple weeks ago, and they both say, "Sir, we would like to take the amateur extra exam." And we said, "Boy, would you like to?
We will.
We will happy to oblige." So we handed both the test. Neither one of these little you-know-whats even touched a calculator or touched their scrap paper.
No.
Right? So I'm watching. Nathan was done in 15 minutes. 2 wrong. His brother was done in 17 minutes. And just to be a show off, he aced it. So congratulations to the Prince brothers for being setting the record for amateur extra exam.
Yeah.
I'm going through their exam and I'm just like,
we got the right template.
Yeah. I've done just the opposite. Like you check to make sure you got the right key because you're putting so many red marks on it. This is the first time I checked it because everyone was right.
Yeah.
Combined score of 96 out of 100.
Yeah. Whew.
So congratulations, guys. Just set your sight for it, and these now. Truth be told, Nathan's planning on going to college to be an aerospace engineer, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely not philosophy, or you ain't going to the tech school, boys and girls. I'm just telling you that right now.
Communication arts.
Hey. What's wrong with communication arts, huh?
I don't know. I got a com arts degree.
Yeah. Does it look like I can communicate? I got 2 wrong on my extra class test, right? I was just a comm major. Jeez.
Yeah. Out of 3 tests, it always seems to get the easiest. On the actual test. So.
Well, Nathan, come back. I'll give you the hard one. Let's see what happens. Oh, I gave your brother the hard one. I'm sorry.
I guess so.
Actually, I don't think one's any easier or any harder than the other one. They both split up the question pool pretty evenly. So. They
do a pretty good job on those tests. So
yeah. I don't know if I could. It's been a while since I looked at the questions, and that's a new test pool. I'm not 100% sure I could pass it without taking a little bit of a look at it.
Yeah.
I could still do the math stuff, with exception I don't remember the formula for resonant frequency. But like all the Ohm's law, resistors, capacitors, anything to do with impedance and graphing it out, I can do those. But I don't. But they got rid of all like the old transistor logic stuff. They got
Yeah.
rid of anything with tubes. It's all digital modes now. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know either. Yeah, it's good. It's a good question.
Yep.
The amateur question pool will be changing in June. So
For the extra?
The extra pool. Yep.
Has it really been that long?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like last year you and I were talking about doing an extra class video series.
No, we were talking about. I think last year we were talking about general class because the general pool changed last year, and the extra pool changes this coming year, June 30th. Will be the last.
Is it a 4-year? It's a 4-year cycle then?
Yeah.
Has it really been that long? Because I remember. I remember now. So the last time I taught an extra class was 2019.
Okay.
I think just before it was the fall before COVID. And then I think next spring I was planning on doing it again. So I had bought the new
the new
teacher's
book
edition of the study guide.
Okay.
I've never cracked it.
Oh.
I've never, because that was one of the big revisions, and I never cracked it. It's sitting on the shelf back here. So that means I must buy another book.
I got to buy another book, yeah.
And not read it. Or maybe I'll just call Nathan and see if he's got an extra one. Jeez.
There we go.
Nathan, don't worry about learning a new set of questions. You would have done just fine.
Yeah.
You could have skipped the last 2 pages and still passed. Okay, kid?
Pretty much.
You're okay. You could have phoned it in or keyed it in, depending on what you're into there for modes. So
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, no, that's like every one of those. I was probably the least tenured VE there. I know I've been. I think this will be my 10th year license, so probably 8 years as a VE. But most of you guys have been VEs for 20 years or more.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! No one in the room had seen that before.
No.
I've seen one guy who sit down and take all 3 and pass all 3 in one day without failing any of them. But I've never seen 2 people come in and do that well. I've seen one person get 1 wrong. She had a doctorate, a doctorate in education. So you guys, you're doing just fine.
You'll be okay.
Have fun.
The kids are all right. So
I'll probably be asking you questions one day.
All right. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour. So that means it's time to recognize and acknowledge all of our supporters for the channel, all of our patrons here, because they're the ones that kind of keep things moving, and especially for that the mission to inspire and educate the amateur radio community. So got a good new batch of supporters and friends this last month. Thank you to all our patrons: Pete C., Ian Kirkpatrick, John Chubik, Philip Dowker, David Lear, Tony, VK3YV on our supporter level, and also on the friend level, Jordan Goodyear and Chuck Duguid. So thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate it. It really, like I said, it helps us do the things we do to keep this channel rolling. And then
Tony VK3, we got a supporter from Australia.
Yeah, he's that guy. Remember back on the campout? Yeah, the one that I worked on 40 and 20 meters at the campout.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you were working at DX and I was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, our show producers here, that's our top level. And we always continue to thank those. Alex, Rand, Ken, Brian, Ron, Joel, Cliff, Mark, Larry, John, Michael, Lyle, Michael, Andy, Bill, Dave, and our newest associate producer, W4PHO. So thank you so much. Pho. If you're into the...
Isn't that like a faux soup?
Pho, yeah, pho. Pho, yeah. Like,
well, watch it. This is a family show, Michael.
That's how you remember how to say it.
Yeah. Unlike the opening to our last video where I was dropping F-bombs like crazy.
Vietnamese noodle soup. Yeah. Yeah. Pho.
Oh, you know what's like one of my biggest downfalls? Like I will kick an old lady in the shins for mung egg rolls. Oh my God.
The spring rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good. I will do some shady stuff for a big box of those.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We've got a very large Southeast Asian population, so we got some awesome.
I will rob Girl Scouts for those. Okay.
Almost. Thai Vietnamese food is.
We got
just
a lot of good food around here. We
all
really
over the place. So it's good stuff. I love Thai food. So help us support the mission to educate and inspire. Patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. And with that, a quick word from our sponsor. KB9 VBR antennas are simple, effective, and affordable VHF and UHF antennas for amateur radio, MURS, public safety, and GMRS. Made in the USA with quality parts. Get yours online at jpole-antenna.com. Okay.
And we are back.
We are back. So, all right. So, let's see. Got a question here that I was gonna grab, and it's from Mike. It's maybe, hopefully, some people in the hive mind here can help us too. Any thoughts on the Zygu 6100? Getting ready to buy one for POTA, and I'm trying to remember.
Zygu, is that the 20 watts?
No, the 6100 is one of their 5 watt. It's a QRP rig.
Okay.
And I think that's the.
Let's pull that one up here.
Yeah, I think that's the newer one.
Oh, no one's robbing me for my pencils and pens, are they?
I was trying to be discreet, bro.
Yeah, you're on the air. Yeah, so much for having a secret stash of pens and pencils, ladies and gentlemen. So the 6100 is a QRP radio. It's got the waterfall. It's got a touchscreen display. It's got a lot of fun things on there.
Yeah.
So, it's 10 watt, which is not really a difference.
10 watts, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say, Mike. Have you done QRP before? If you're really wanting to do QRP, then go ahead. These are nice radios for the price. I have not used one. The receive ain't great on them. It's they're a middle of the road receive, but for portable operation, that's fine. Usually,
they're
if you
fine.
that doesn't really matter.
When you're out in the field, you're usually got a low noise floor anyway, so it's
right. Exactly, unless you're like in a park in the middle of town.
Yeah.
And someone says keep saving, get an 891. Well, the 891 ain't much more expensive than that. You get 100 watts, but I bet you the receive is the same on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I take that back. The 891's got a triple het receive. It's not a great triple het receive. It's a decent triple het receive. But I think that the Zygu and most of those other ones, that's a direct conversion.
Yeah, it's direct. Yeah, it's SDR, so it would be direct convert. So
which I mean it's SDR. I'm not going to say good or bad on that. I don't know exactly how advanced that one is, but
this one came
before you buy it.
Yeah, this one came out about a year and a half ago. I know some early models had firmware issues, but I think most of the bugs have been worked out of it. So
Yeah.
There's that. One of the neat things about this radio, if you can kind of see the waterfall on here, I believe it'll do direct like FT8 decodes. So
Okay.
I think that's what this one can do. Not positive on it, but
Okay. So if
it
you're going to
does.
do QRP or if you're going to do FT8
Yeah.
field, this would be great. I mean, but again, it's definitely, if you think you're going to go out into a field and make like 100 contacts in an hour, like Michael does on 10 watts, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're great right now. In 4 or 5 years, when it gets to the bottom of the solar cycle, QRP is going to be a lot more challenging.
QRP, yeah, to not coin a phrase, QRP is not a walk in the park. It can be a lot of fun, but unless you kind of get yourself into that mindset, that because it's more challenging than running 50, 100 watts, even 25 watts. So.
Yeah. So, and let's make one thing clear: when you're running a sideband, there's not a difference between 5 watts and 10 watts. You're doubling your power, but it ain't jack. Even going to 20 watts is not really that much more, other than you're burning batteries a little bit faster.
So
you got to see an appreciable gain in dB before you really start getting out there. The difference between 5 watts and 100 watts is like the difference between 100 watts and 1,000 watts.
Mm-hmm.
So, just putting that out there. But again, if you're a person who wants to do QRP, these IU radios are great. Go do it.
Go for
they're
it.
a lot cheaper than an Elecraft.
Oh
and
yeah,
you get a lot
definitely.
of features. Yeah,
definitely. $600.
You don't cry.
$600 is what I paid for my my 817, and so
the 817 and 818 aren't in production anymore.
No, absolutely not. So if
the 817 and 818 have a following for guys that runs transverter, for VHF, UHF, satellites, microwave. Those radios will always have a place, and people will buy those on the aftermarket, and they will pay a fortune for them. I don't know what these new direct receive radios are going to be for that. I really don't know. People use a 9700, which is the 5 watts QRP radio by ICOM for that. They're doing good with that, but it's still a very pricey addition for like a microwave rig or something like that.
Yeah. ICOM IC705 is their HF QRP rig. So it's but then I think the 9700 is that's their microwave rig. So you were talking about the transverter stuff. So
no, you're right. It's 705. My numbers get confused sometimes.
Yeah, I know it's hard to remember all those numbers. So Andrew loves his 6100. Just got to learn how to work pileups with QRP. So exactly,
you can work the big stations with QRP. Not a problem.
I love activating QRP. It's a lot of fun. So it's more laid back. You don't get because you're not putting out such a big signal. Sometimes you'll have less people come back to you if that's important to you. It's if you're okay with that, go for it. So
if you're hunting wallpaper, don't do QRP.
Or if you're just starting out, but
if you want a challenge, and with QRP, antennas everything.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So Nathan asks, how much power do I usually run on POTA? 50 watts is what I usually set my FT891 to if I'm running, and that's I seldom go higher than that. I find 50 watts is a nice trade-off between getting a signal out there and battery life. So I'll cut. That's why I cut the power back a little bit. QRP, 5 watts. So that's a factor of 10, which can make a difference to your signal. But with a good antenna, it's crazy. Some people don't even don't even notice the difference between 5 watts and 50 watts. If you've got
right. It's rare that you're ever a 5.7 to begin with your activating portable.
Yep.
So But again, the difference between 50 watts and 100 watts really isn't that much. But in terms of battery life, it's huge. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, definitely.
that's between like a 20 watts or 20 amps and like 10 amps that you're pulling that
Mhm.
transmit. It's a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
difference.
Flatlander says, yeah, it's great for hiking into the woods. That's what I love about my little the 817 is it's so packable. You know, it's if you want to go out, you know, if you want to throw everything in a bag and walk out to a picnic table, or if you want to walk to the woods, you know, a QRP radio is the way to go. Another thing to consider, you know, electromagnetic mischief says, you know, 20 watts is only, you know, 1.1 S units down from 100 watts. So
Exactly.
an S unit on most scales, an S unit, each increase of an S unit is usually a 6 dB jump. So, so if you cut your power in half from 100 to 50 watts, that's 3 dB. From 50 to 20-ish watts, that's another 3 dB. So, you know, 6 dB or 1 S unit.
Yeah.
If you're putting out an S9 signal, well, you're going to be S7. You know, so it's or S8.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not a big change there.
no.
Yeah, Nathan's response there. He tuned the flagpole with an alligator clip on his G90. Nathan, I know where there's a potato masher that we'd like to see tuned up. Just saying, a couple guys got a crazy idea.
Yeah, those G90 tuners, evidently they will they're really forgiving. So it's
Tuna wet noodle
you tune a wet noodle. So it's
or a moderately damp noodle.
moderately damp noodle. So Chris here has got a message here. Good luck this weekend in the QSO party.
Oh, we got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a really good transition into what we were going to talk about, and I know because before the show I was talking with Chris, because he's going to be active in the Vermont QSO party, and I told him I'm going to be mobile for the Minnesota QSO party, so maybe we can do a QSO party to QSO party, park to park contact or something like that. So
it's like the gatekeeper and the keymaster. We really got to get these two together.
So I wanted to kind of talk a minute about the Minnesota QSO party, which happens this coming Saturday, February 3rd, starts at 1400 UTC, 8 a.m. Central Time for us normal people, and runs until 2400, so 10 hours on Saturday. And this will be the third time Dave KZ9V, have gone mobile for the QSO party. And 2 years ago, we ran, I think it was 3 parks and 5 counties. We had this big loop in southeastern Minnesota. And we found out that trying to cram all that stuff in is a lot of work. There was a lot of logistics, and but we did decent. This last year, we decided to hit. I think we hit 5 parks, and had a 7 county loop. We made our loop a little bit more compact, but we were able to hit more parks. But we increased our challenge level last year by bringing Dave's grandson along with us. So we had a 5-year-old in the back of the truck, which
you can't even drive.
No, he made contacts
not
first.
Very well.
Yeah. But we've found that in mobile operation for a QSO party, we've kind of hit the ceiling on phone contacts, because it seems like there's 2 or 3 people that have these astronomical scores, and they're CW only, and they hit like 15, 20 counties. So, but they may only do about 50 contacts per county, but it's all CWs, and it's insane that they can, because they've got this whole cadre of people that they always make the same contacts with, in the, as they do their loop. So they always get these, when you, on a QSO party mobile, when you go to a new county, you can recontact the same people over again. So they keep recycling the same people. And that's one of the problems we've kind of had, is that how are we gonna get a score that, that where we can really have a standing that kind of is on the same level of these crazy mobile CW people. So this is what Dave figures we're going to do. We're going to hit 3 counties, 3 parks. The counties and the parks are close to each other, so we can minimize our actual road time and concentrate at stopping at a park in the county, setting up quick, being on the air for like 2.5 hours per park, and then and just going, like a bat out of hell, racking
rack them and stack them.
Rack them and stack them, and then work the bands and work as many POTA as we can, and when we get done, we pack up, we scoot down to the next park in the next county, set up, and do it all over again. So
well, really, you could do the same with this show, Michael. You guys can get a cadre of our fans locked and loaded for this weekend.
Yep.
Right? And like they're your first 50 contacts, and you just keep milking it out.
Just keep going over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
So here's the deal. The exchange for the Minnesota QSO party is a little bit different. And so everybody else, I got to kind of do a little bit of education here. So for all of the POTA people, when we start making these QSOs, I need 2 pieces of information for you. And you don't have to submit your log,
your birth date and your social security number. Just the last 4 digits.
Mother's maiden name.
Oh yeah. Your favorite pet.
Yeah. First car you drove. So we need your state, unless you're in Minnesota, then your county, and I need your first name. So that's the exchange. No signal report. It's just state and first name. So we'll be giving you park. We can give you park numbers if you want the park number, but I need your name. So.
Yep. We'll give you a park number if you give him a name.
There you go.
Quid pro quo, Terry.
You can follow us. Here's our mobile operators. Yeah, we're going to be Team Kilo Zero Mike. So you're going to want to listen to call sign K0M, because that's what we're going to go. Yeah, that's the call sign we're going to use this weekend, because we're going to be in Minnesota. We got a special event call with a 0 in it, because that's the way we roll. We're going to do APRS. You'll be able to follow us around K0 Mike -9. And we're going to be in Goodhue County, Wabasha County, Winona County, and then finish back up again, and I guess head back up towards Wabasha County again towards the end, as we right before the end of the thing. Sideband, we might have a little bit of CW, 40-20 meters. Maybe a little bit of 80 way at the end, depending on how the bands run. It's probably going to be the bulk of it's going to be 40 and 20 meters. Well, we're going to do 40 meters so we can get those in-state counties, because we need no multipliers, and then 20 meters to get all of the to get the big volume of contacts. So,
dude, which one of you is going to work 40 and which one's going to work 20?
Well, we're only going to be single. We're going to be multi-op single transmitter. So okay. I guess I'm going to be the phone guy, and he's going to be the CW guy. So
okay.
So he'll probably
know how you pull him in when you key up. So
so when I'm resting my voice, he'll probably Dave will be pounding brass. So
no lies, during winter field day, like I'm having problems getting digital going, and I look over, how many you got? Oh, I got about 96, 97 contacts already. Like, how the hell do you got that many contacts in an hour? Like, I got to take a break. I got 3.
Got 3. Chuck asks, does it have to be your name, Michael? So, well, if you don't give us your name, one will be assigned for you.
Yeah, we ain't gonna tell you what our idea was before the show.
Yeah, so
This is family friendly.
Family friendly. So yeah, so yeah, so here's some of the people that we're going to be up against. So it's going to be a good time. Should be fun. Listen for us, especially 40, 20 meters, a little bit of 15. We'll have it'll be fun. So, and the weather will be beautiful. So we should be able to really, hopefully, just pack them in. It won't be typical Minnesota weather. Like
yeah, that photo right there is not going to happen.
Not this year.
No. You guys will be in shorts and Hawaiian shirts.
Pretty much. So, so, all right. So that's the QSO party. Looking forward to it. Okay. Actually, that since I got this up on the screen, I'm going to talk about the
Speaking of POTA,
the POTA campout. So, and our second annual Wisconsin POTA campout is coming up in October. That's October 4th through the 6th, and at Brunei Island State Park. Here's a picture from last year. And there's the group from last year. But we're going to be at Brunei Island State Park in Cornell, Wisconsin. We talked about the campout extensively in last month's live stream. So if you want to go back and look at last month's live stream, there'll be a real nice long talk about. We would talk about that. It's Brunei Island is in western Wisconsin, just sort of about 20 miles north of Chippewa Falls, kind of near Eau Claire, if you're familiar with the state off of Interstate 94. So yeah, I'm just going to shrink our map. See if I can shrink our map a little bit. I can't shrink our map. There it is. Yeah, there you can see. Yeah, I-94, Eau Claire, and where Brunei Island, Cornell is. Really neat thing about the campground, though, is that everything is, almost all of the sites are water sites. So it is a real beautiful campground.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And now the crazy news about this year's campout is we've practically taken over the park. When we announced the campout last month, with the exception of a few sites here on the river that were already booked, all of these sites were empty. After we announced the campout last month, within like 5 days, all of these sites filled up. So these are all POTA campers that have made their reservations. So
the Borg has assimilated at the campground.
It is the Brunei Island POTA campground takeover. There are a few sites left over on the west side of the bay. So if you're still interested, I'd recommend maybe reserving one of these sites. The distance, the hub of the activity is going to be around here, in these, and that's about 1,000-foot walk. So it's not that 1,500 feet max. It's not that far to get to the rest of the campground. But there's a few sites left. Otherwise, just kind of watch, and if anybody drops out and turns their reservation back in, then you'll want to you could grab on one of those sites.
Yep.
But, yeah, we filled up there's a few electric sites left in the South Loop if you're interested in electric. These are all non-electric sites.
Yeah, if you're going to operate QRO, go to the South Campground.
Yeah, but at battery power, you'll be fine. No generators in this park, unfortunately. Yeah, the water will be turned on still because it's a little bit earlier in October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they don't shut the water off to the second or third week. Of course, right now they could have the water on and it'd be just fine because it was 50 degrees today.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Scout says, I can't believe how quickly the site's filled up, so this is definitely going to be a fantastic time. We've got a lot. We've got some new people. We got a lot of the regulars from last year's campout came back. It's going to be fun. So, if you're interested, I got some information on the website here. I'll post it into the chat. You can read about it. There we go. If you wanna, I'll make a wait list. If you want to send me an email, if you're interested, but send me an email, and then I'll keep an eye on things. And if I see sites opening up, I'll send out a quick email blast. So.
Yep. It's going to be super duper. We got enough people coming this year. I think we can activate all HF bands, all modes, voice, CW, digital simultaneously.
There we go.
The park may glow by the middle of the night, but it's okay. It's all right. As long as you don't do it for too long.
Yep. It's going to be fun. No, we're going to have a blast. So thanks a lot, everybody, for the, jumping on so quick, and the response is just totally overwhelming.
Yeah, I thought maybe we'd get like 15 or 20 campsites. We pretty much have taken over everything.
Yeah, got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19. Yeah, there's about 25. We got about 25 sites, and I know there's a couple campers over here, so. And a couple in the electrics. Yeah. We got about 30 people. 30 people registered. Right. Yeah, so no, that's amazing.
Just to put it in perspective, this is like peak color season too for the fall.
Yeah,
first week in October. So there's a lot of other people that are going to be camping. So we got to respect that. We don't own the campground by any means. It's a state park. But I think that you'll be in good company. We'll just say that.
Yes, you will. Yeah. So it'll be good. So. All right. And that is that. Let's see if I can get this. If I can find my mouse here, we'll close this. We'll probably not every month, but I'll just make periodic updates on what's going on with the camp out here as we move along closer to the year. And it's like if you don't want to register, but if you want to be just keep tabs on what's going on, or if you want to be informed when a site opens up, just drop me an email and I'll add you to the distribution list. So, okay. Let's see if I can find a couple more questions here. Our Electromagnetic Mischief is going to be in a park this Saturday. So
K2175. Where's that at, Mischief?
I think he's from Georgia. So
Georgia.
I'll have to look
Georgia
down.
On my mind.
And one more. Have you had any issues? Or D3 Jake says, do you have had any issues with the 891 on FT8 using the proper data mode? I end up using SSB because it sounds like there's some filter applied to the data mode that messes with the audio quality. All right. I use the data mode for FT8. I don't use it I don't use sideband for FT8. And the reason being is that I can set many of the settings independent on how I operate sideband and how I operate digital between the two modes, like my power level, output gain, and things like that. So that means if I'm switching between the two modes, between data and sideband, there's less things I need to tweak in going between phone and digital. Now, you said that I think what you said is you noticed that audio quality, like some kind of filter applied, and yes, there is a filter applied, and what it is your width filter. WDH is on its little icon on the menu. When you switch to data, width always reverts to the narrow setting, so it sounds really teeny. And if you look at the waterfall, you may only see like 3 stations, because it's just this tiny little 500 hertz bit in the middle of the waterfall. And the reason it does that when you switch over to digital is that the 891 came out a little bit before FT8 really hit the scene. So people were when they were doing digital modes like PSK and all those other ones, they're really narrow banded. So they had their 500 hertz is basically what they were keying in on. Switching with FT8, that takes an entire 3 kilohertz, 2.8 kilohertz sideband passband. So what you need to do in order to hear everything is to increase your width to the full value. So what you need to do is you'll need to go on the front panel of your FT891. You'll press the little round button. Excuse me. You'll press the function. You'll short press the function button to get to the screen menu. And then you'll turn the little dial until you see it highlighted onto width, WDH. Select that, and then turn the selector dial until it is all the way wide. And then you can hit the clarifier button to cancel out, and your width will be increased, and you will hear everything. It will sound beautiful. So
there you go.
500
hertz is great for CW, not for FT8.
Yep, exactly. And then the Don says exactly the same thing. You got to set that, and every time you change modes, other settings will always stick, like your power level, and a few of the other ones, but width, for some reason, width always reverts back to narrow when you switch modes. So if you switch to sideband and you switch back to digital, your width is going to revert back to narrow, and you got to widen it again. I always put my width on my front display, the ABC buttons, so I can always get to width right away without having to go through the menu. So.
Right, because you can program those ABC buttons with other parameter you want. So that would be good one. If you're going to switch back between digital and sideband or CW, maybe throw that on A, B, or C and keep that handy.
Yep, exactly. So
Dave does that, it looks like. So
there we go. Yeah. Yep, Dave's also got width is a designated function button. So that's the easiest. And I found that, if you're using sideband for data modes, then you end up like adjusting 3 or 4 different things, but like your power level and a couple other things. Possibly your mic gain. If you use digital for FT8, the only thing you really have to set is the width. So everything else can be set it or forget. So
absolutely,
yeah. And as Don says, I wish Yaesu would fix that with a firmware update. So.
Yeah, don't get me started on Yaesu right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen with Yaesu. It's no. Their engineers probably have a reason why they did it that way.
Right. So. No, Yaesu is probably ain't going to do anything else to 891 because A, they're selling, and B, they're selling other radios, so they really don't give a damn.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that. So, no. All right. Let's see. And Nathan says, do you plan on doing a POTA in the area sometime soon? I'd like to do one with you sometime when it's warmer.
Warmer? How much warmer do you need, Nathan? It was fitty out. Fitty. I was in my shorts. Actually, I wasn't. I was in a freezer today at 20 below zero while it was 50 outside. Figure that one out.
This weekend I will be in Minnesota, but if the weather holds out next weekend, maybe we can plan something like next week Saturday. I'm not doing anything next weekend, and the wife is going to be out of town, so maybe that's.
Ooh, wife's out of town. The boys will play.
We'll get some POTA going on. So we'll have to, we'll catch up after the show there, Nathan. Maybe we can plan something in the next week or so before it gets cold again.
Yeah, before we pay for this month and a half of warm weather.
Yep. So, all right. Let's see. I got some questions here. The magic carpet questions. When
holy smokes, did we get the carpet questions?
We got the carpet questions
because got out on the carpet.
My magic carpet video, evidently it gets a few views every day, but all of a sudden in the last 3 weeks it's getting like 200-300 views a day, and it's like, holy smokes.
It must have came up with yours at Now's feed again.
That's
usually how it happens.
Or the algorithm just kind of, sometimes they churn it, or somebody posts something and then it goes viral again. So there was a little resurgence, and that means I get the same questions over again that I've talked about. I don't know how many times before in the last year, but so I thought we'd just run through a few of these quick, and then I can post a little excerpt video on them. But now we've used, when I talk about the magic carpet, there's 2 different variations. You got the window screen, which is the 36 by 84 inch piece of aluminum, bright aluminum mesh screen. And you got the Faraday cloth, which is approximately 42 by 108 inches of fabric that's impregnated with nickel and copper wires. So
impregnated.
Yeah. And K7ULM asks, based on your extensive experience, how would you compare the effectiveness of the door screen versus Faraday fabric? And I find that the two are functionally equivalent. They are going to give you practically the same performance. The only difference is that the Faraday fabric is a little bigger, so it's got more square feet. And I found on the lower bands, the more surface area you can cover, the better match you're going to get. So especially on 40 meters. So you might find a slightly better match on 40 meters with a single piece of fabric than you might from a single piece of door screen. And the reason being is because the fabric is covering more surface area. If we were to cover, if all things were equal and both were the same size, they would both have the same exact performance.
Right. You could also just go get 2 pieces of window screen too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And kind of sort of, kind of line them up. Yeah.
Join them together.
So, okay, go out and buy a Faraday cloth. Yeah, they may, roll out a little bit easier. It may look a little bit nice, but you're really paying for a name. It's just window screen cloth. You can go to the hardware store, like find your local neighborhood hardware store, and they got big rolls of it. You just ask them for a 6-foot piece.
There you go.
You don't have to get the prepackaged one, right?
Yep.
And it's the same thing. It doesn't have to be impregnated with nickel because that ain't going to make a difference.
No,
right?
No.
You'd have to get something ginormous, like a quarter wavelength in each direction for it to really start to play an effect. And it's silly. It's silly. Just go out and buy some cheap window cloth in bulk, and you're good to go.
You're good to go. Yep. The only advantage to the fabric is that it folds up nice and compact. So if you're backpacking, then that's an advantage. But otherwise, I like to, people will ask me, why you wouldn't, why do I use one or the other? And a lot of times it depends on what I'm laying it down on. If it's the parking lot is full of snow and garbage and mud, I'll put the window screen down because it's easier to clean. I don't have to worry about getting the fabric dirty. in that regards. But which kind of brings us to another question. Could either the screen or the Faraday cloth be used on the top of snow? Will it still work? Yes, it will. I've floated both of them on top of snow, and they work just fine.
Yeah.
So
I only worry about putting on, like, if you got a big snowpack, is stability of the actual tripod or the antenna itself, right? That's the only key thing. Well, yeah, you can pop it right up on the snow. It's not going to make a difference. Unless you got like 4 feet of snow and you're up in the UP, then you might see a little bit of difference, I would think.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll just go with that.
If it's a real sunny day, you'll get a little bit of thermal heating, and the snow will melt underneath the fabric or the screen. So it'll get a little icy and wet, but you can kind of shake it out. So a couple of people asked about the size. Can you address the cloth and screen effect on pattern, SWR and pattern, or what, or if they're independent? On an anecdotal level, I haven't really noticed a difference between using, laying out the screens and laying out radials. They seem to work, very similar on a performance level. I think that in order to really affect directivity, though, with the screen or the Faraday cloth is, like you said earlier, Joe, you got to have lengths of about a quarter wavelength in length.
Right.
So, and then you can start to lay those out, radiating from your antenna and create some directivity. But, one piece of screen laying underneath or alongside or perpendicular, if it's only going out 6 feet, it's not gonna you're not gonna cause any directivity. So
no, there's a whole art to actually with the directivity with ground planes. They do it. They can use that with like commercial AM stations, especially with phasing of multiple antennas in the ground planes. And then there's an art to that. For what we're doing, it doesn't matter which way you put it. If it's 3 by 5 or 4 by 8, and if it's pointed, to Aries and the south, and when they're in perfect alignment, it doesn't matter.
No,
really.
no,
You
exactly.
have to get it like at least a quarter wavelength long, and even then, it's going to be marginally directive.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah. So a good example, I was thinking about this, the buddy stick. Okay, if you've used a buddy stick antenna, it's got one counterpoise.
Yep.
And that counterpoise is a little bit directional. So if you want to set up your buddy stick and point it to the south, they say that it'll help transmit towards the south. Now, I never really got that too much. It does help a little, I'm sure, but it's not that much. But when you have a ground plane, you kind of got your surface area even, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing if you put like a mag mount 2-meter antenna on a cookie sheet, right? You can turn that cookie sheet any which way, even though the cookie sheet itself is actually probably 21 inches or 19 inches. It's definitely close to a quarter wavelength. It's not really going to make that big of a difference.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. And then finally, somebody asks, is there a reason why it's not square? Because the conventional wisdom is, want your radials to go out all directions, like in a big circle, but you're using a rectangular piece of mesh or screen or something.
You know why it's not square? Because it comes prepackaged rectangular. That's why.
Exactly.
That's why. And if it was square, it wouldn't make a difference.
No, because it's not the size of the screen. It's the surface area that it covers. That's the important part. It's surface area, not size. As you increase lots of little radials, if you're using lots of little radials that are ground mounted on a vertical antenna, you get you'll receive greater or less, less loss is a greater effective dBi in the takeoff of your radiated signal. And that's the same thing with the screen. It's the more surface area you can cover, the better the better match, the less of the ground losses you're gonna receive. So
you've been reading that antenna book, haven't you?
Actually, so I was reading about counterpoises. Whoa. And now, of course, I can't find it, but
you got that chapter and verse memorized.
I bookmarked it, but
the bookmark fell out.
No, it's right here. I'm on the page. I just can't remember what paragraph. I should have put a sticky note on the paragraph, because the actual word that he used. Let's see. More. It had to do with lots of counterpoises. It created sort of a thickening of the signal, which was an interesting term.
A thickening.
And now
size doesn't matter, but thickening does.
Yes. Let's see. The word. Oh shoot, I can't find it. But so it says in here. So it is.
Hamill's antenna book. So Chuck
as
asked,
it is written, so may it be done.
Yeah, Chuck asks, what book do we have there? Ralph Hamill's antenna book. Okay,
Ralph Hamill.
Yeah. So to give you an example, if you've had the ARRL antenna book, that's like the cliff notes of this.
Yeah.
Okay, this came down off the mountain, written in stone tablets in the original German.
Auf Deutsch.
Sprechen into Deutsch. This is translated to English, of course, but it's this is the end all be all pretty much. If you want but it's also going to cost you an arm and a leg, and it's not like bathroom reading either.
No, it's condensed. It's got a lot of information in it, but the information is sparse. But it has references to take you back to the original source, so you can go and read, from there, in greater detail. So it gives you a starting point for just about anything. But no, it's crazy. I think I paid about $80 for it. It's
a lot for a book.
Yeah, I had to get it from Germany. It took about 3 weeks to. So
is there a YouTube video on that?
Well, there might be.
There might be soon.
No, so but what it said about radials is basically, it's more, more radials creates that lower ground losses. So it's
worst case scenario, if you're having a problem keeping your Faraday cloth down, you can use that as a weight.
A few of those 1,600 pages.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Exactly. So, all right.
Chris Moses wrote that antenna manual. Yes, he did.
And
these 10 commandments.
In the original German, just as spoken from the prophets. Okay. So that's
everyone knows that engineering, all good engineering came from Germany, except the Volkswagen.
Isn't that the case? So, all right. You know what? It is about that time.
Oh boy! Here we go. Oh boy! I don't know what he's got lined up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. Hi. boys and
So
girls.
we're gonna get the music means only one thing.
Hamsexy time.
A little bit of Hamsexy time.
Yeah, so Hamsexy time. Recently, we've had some vehicles. We've had AI. We've had quite a bit, but Michael tells me that tonight is the end all be all.
This
perfect for Valentine's Day.
It is. If you're looking for your Hamsexy lair, I found online an article. Cold War bunker turned mansion in Missouri can be yours.
Whoa. Okay, so this ain't your normal police interceptor safety vest Hamsexy.
No.
High-end Hamsexy. Okay.
This is the elite. The elite of Hamsexy.
Okay.
So a 1960s underground bunker has been fully renovated, allowing its owner to live out Armageddon in the lap of luxury.
I don't live day to day the lap of luxury. Holy smokes!
We've got some pictures, and we'll show you these pictures. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? This article here kind of goes through stuff, but I think it's easier is if I just click on the Zillow listing. And that's not the Zillow listing. Oh, come on.
How did we get the Zillow and ham radio? This is the first thing I gotta ask.
Isn't it the... Oh, come on. Where's the Zillow listing? Oh.
Just click on one of those links till it pops up.
Here's the Zillow. Okay.
Oh wow, that looks like you got yourself a Connex box for $2 million.
So $2 million.
You got a brick bank house and a Connex box.
Yeah, you get 10 acres. What's special? Private water well, additional layers of earth, new pump, EMP resistant copper shielding, theater room, pool table, modern kitchen.
You EMP guys, start listening. This ain't no trash can safety here right now.
We're gonna pull up the pictures. So yeah, it's pretty unassuming from the top. We go down some flight of stairs.
Wow,
we come to the blast door.
Oh man, the YL ain't gonna come through there.
Yeah.
Gonna have all the ham radio time you want.
It gets. Rug? Yeah, look at that. You know, that's like a lair if there ever was one.
Wow. Got a lounge.
The bar area. Yeah.
Got yourself a tavern. I mean, it's because if you're going to be locked in Armageddon with your family, you're going to need a tavern.
You're going to need it. You know.
Yeah. Ooh, look at this. Oh man.
Master bath. Yeah. Here's soundproofing. This music room was soundproofed.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's see what you're laying down here.
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow. You got an office.
That'd be a nice little Radio Shack kind of thing.
You're gonna use another room for radio, probably. I mean, that's like, got the QSO car. Little washer dryer, got that.
A little utility room here.
Three-phase service with switchgear, very nice. 1960s rated.
Yeah,
that's going okay.
Beautiful water heater.
Look
at this shop.
Got an entire shop.
Yeah.
Holy wow! You got yourself a ventilation system. The AC right there.
Yeah.
You could have a ham fest down there. That's huge.
This is all underground.
Yeah.
10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet. Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's like 10 times my size. My house's size.
Pool table.
How'd you get that downstairs? Holy crap!
Isn't that crazy?
Man. Oh, you gotta love that
kitchen
there.
Modern kitchen. Because you gotta eat.
I mean, you gotta make field day chili there.
Yeah. I notice here. Yeah, we got the little fallout shelter symbol.
Well, just gotta make it official. Wow.
Yeah.
All of this could be
lounging.
yours for $2 million.
This could be all $2 million. Isn't this like the perfect ham hideaway lair? We got the bedrooms, closets,
Full walk-in closet.
Look, so we got.
But it's also the one thing that I saw is that it's got an actual 190-foot tower.
Yes,
on the property.
So this is the property. You got 10 acres, all fenced in. Communications tower, 170 foot, comes with it.
Wow.
Look at that, 10 acres.
That is crazy. I mean, $2 million for a 170-foot tower. I mean, that's a bargain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't just your regular police interceptor crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the person who's probably going to buy this is a meth drug lord or maybe a cult leader.
Or something.
One or the other. I think this is outside the realm of ham radio right here, guys. That is, yeah. What's the buy it now price? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we start a Patreon for this, guys?
I think so.
$100.
Go fund me.
How big is the liquor warehouse? Whoa.
How big do you need to survive Armageddon?
I don't know. It better be all top shelf because I ain't going into the end times drinking cheap rum. Okay.
Yeah. Evidently, it was built in the 1960s as a I think the story goes, if I read this article right, let's see if I can pull the article up.
Yeah, this was an old microwave site.
Yeah, it's a long line site for television, and we'll get to the bottom here.
Oh,
Telephone. So yeah, evidently television, because back in the 60s, television still ran, coast to coast on copper. So it was a relay point for that and for early warning systems and whatnot. So it was part of the AT&T long distance network. They had them all over the place. And this one is located just outside of Kansas City, Missouri. So middle of the heartland.
Interesting. $2 million. Now,
I'm
going to tell you what, like just outside of Kansas City, Missouri is not my top place to live by any means. No offense to our Missouri fans here. But if I'm going to drop $2 million, it's going to be a little warmer. Okay.
Exactly.
Just saying. Oh God. I just read I don't know if we could even print some of these comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Guaranteed to be the only fans remaining after the apocalypse.
You remember the movie The Day After? So it's just like the final scene. The guy tapping away in Morse code. This is Kansas. That was in Nebraska, Omaha, or was it Kansas State University. Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. The Day After.
Oh, that's right. You're young and.
Oh yeah, I'm real young.
It came out in the early 80s, like 83, 84, made for TV movie where on TV, nuclear apocalypse. So.
Oh God, the Sunday night movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Whatever happened to those?
It was so bad. I mean, you watch it, you'll have nightmares for weeks. So. Here we go. Yeah, Lawrence.
Because of the production.
Don remembers Lawrence, Kansas. Yep.
Okay. Yep. The Day After. I'll go look it up.
So not far from where this site is.
Right. Yeah. So this is probably built just for that. No, this is
that movie scared the crap out of people. It did. It absolutely did. I was like 13 years old. It was 14, 13. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh man.
Wow. I mean, I've seen some bunkers, but that that's
That
like
is a bunker.
presidential right there. Holy smokes. You got to have some VIPs going to this one. VIH, very important hams.
Now everybody's wondering about.
Going to be repopulating the earth once they're done.
Now everybody's wondering about the day after.
Yeah.
If it's on.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's probably the best. That's probably the best one yet, Michael. Better than the AI ones last month. Better than the ones last month, definitely.
I can't tell if it's on Netflix or not, but where can I watch it?
Can I borrow someone's Netflix account to see if it's on there?
Oh, it's on Prime Video. It's on Prime Video.
Oh, perfect.
No, that looks
like,
I
got Prime. That's good.
Yeah, so check there. So, all right. So there we go. It was a good show. Next, just a couple things coming up. We didn't talk about Winter Field Day at all. Oh well. We'll have to save it for next month.
It wasn't that cold, I'll tell you that right now.
No,
go watch the video.
Yeah, but the video was good, and it kind of encapsulated how Winter Field Day turned out for us.
They capitulated.
Capitulated. Upcoming
Sunday
videos.
Morning, we capitulated.
Let's see, upcoming videos. I got some product reviews coming in the next few weeks. Next week we'll do the Minnesota QSO party, so you'll see Dave and I's exploits on that. And our next live stream is going to be on Thursday, March 7th at 7:00 p.m. So
all right, March 7th.
March 7th.
That's a late one.
It is. I think it's because February's got an extra day.
Oh, so, yeah. Because remember, guys, it's leap year this year.
Yep. Otherwise, it would have been March 1st. So
if you got lucky 8 months ago and you got one on the way, you might land there.
There you go. Then you don't have to celebrate a birthday every year.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that would be great for parents. But you only get one present every 4 years. Perfect.
Yeah. The kids they'll understand.
Right.
So. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us for another hour and a half of crazy talk. So, how did Car Talk usually end? That was thanks for spending another 2 hours wasted with us. Or wasting another 2 hours with us.
Time with you, Michael, is never wasted.
No. All right, we'll see you all guys next month. Hopefully we'll get you on the air soon. So with that, I'm Michael, KB9 VBR.
And I'm Joe, KD9 CJX 73.
73.